For centuries, the mysterious words of Ezekiel and Zechariah have hinted at events now unfolding before our eyes. The great pieces of the end times are being pieced together, revealing signs that are both extraordinary and alarming. You didn't hear wrong. Our world is teetering on the brink of a great revelation, where every new sign could be a clue to the end of the world. The suspense is palpable, and we are about to discover secrets that have been hidden for millennia. What is happening in Israel today? What do these ancient prophecies mean? And what are the possible consequences for all of us? We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates. I will return them to their land. As stated in Ezekiel 36:24, implies that people will return to their countries of origin, leaving other nations to go back to their homes. Zechariah 12:2-3 highlights the future significance of Jerusalem, describing it as a cup that will disturb the nations, causing many to unite against it. Despite this, Jerusalem will stand firm like a rock. Any attempt to harm it will only lead to self-destruction. The land of Israel holds great importance to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Throughout history, it has been inhabited by various groups, including Assyrians, Babylonians, ancient Israelites, and Canaanites. It is a place that has witnessed the emergence and development of civilization, preserving the narratives and practices of diverse cultures. About 3,000 years ago, around 1000 BC, the tribes of Israel united under King Saul's leadership. This unity continued under King David and his son Solomon. Solomon constructed a sacred place for worship known as the First Temple. Around 1000 BC, the kingdom split into two, the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. In 722 BC, the Assyrians conquered the Northern Kingdom. The Southern Kingdom fell to the Babylonians in 586 BC, resulting in the destruction of the First Temple. With the Babylonians' defeat by the Persians, the exiled Jews were allowed to return and rebuild their temple, marking the beginning of the Second Temple period. Approximately 2,000 years ago, Christianity emerged in this region, where Jesus of Nazareth lived. However, in 70 AD, the Romans devastated the Second Temple during a conflict with the Jewish people, leaving a profound impact on Jewish identity and history. In the 1920s and 1930s, many European Jews emigrated to seek refuge from rising anti-Semitism. This migration, known as Aliyah, significantly altered the region's demographics. Jewish settlers established agricultural communities such as kibbutzim and moshavim. However, tensions between the Jewish and Arab communities escalated as both groups sought control over the land, leading to violent conflicts. After World War II, Jews were dispersed worldwide, but in 1948, an extraordinary event occurred. David Ben-Gurion, a Jewish leader, proclaimed the independence of Israel. This event seemed like the fulfillment of ancient biblical prophecies found in books such as Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Isaiah, which foretold the return of Israel. Ezekiel 36:24 predicted, "I will gather them from all nations and make them return to their land," referring to the return of Jews scattered worldwide, marking them as special in the eyes of God. Jeremiah 30 provided comfort to the people with divine words, assuring them of their return from captivity to the land of their ancestors. These prophecies spoke of gathering the Jewish people from distant lands and bringing them back to God's promised land. Observing Israel today feels like witnessing the living confirmation of these prophecies. The ancient scriptures promised the land to the Jewish people, and Israel is now their home. This serves as tangible proof that divine promises remain true and manifest according to ancient predictions. Despite Israel's initially harsh climate and infertile land, today they farm in abundance. They put faith in another promise, demonstrating that even against formidable odds, they could thrive and make the desert bloom. Israel's modern agricultural success stands as a testament to the resilience and determination of its people, fulfilling the ancient vision of prosperity in their promised land. The establishment and flourishing of Israel exemplify the enduring relevance and realization of ancient prophecies in contemporary times. Ancient prophecies, particularly from the book of Zechariah, are not just relics of the past but are unfolding before our eyes today. According to Zechariah 8:12, the earth will produce crops and be watered with heavenly dew. These promises are vividly seen in the modern state of Israel. Despite its harsh climatic conditions, with a hot and arid environment, Israel is now reaping abundant fruits from lands that once seemed unproductive. This transformation is often attributed to a biblical promise found in Zechariah 8:12, which states, "The seed will grow well, the vine will yield its fruit, the ground will produce its crops, and the heavens will drop their dew." The remarkable agricultural success of Israel, where even the trees surpass those in regions like Russia, is seen as a testament to divine intervention. The people of Israel put their faith in these ancient promises, and against all odds, their crops prosper. Witnessing these prophecies come true is a fascinating experience, as they underscore the enduring nature of God's promises. The return of the Jewish people to their homeland and the transformation of the land demonstrate the fulfillment of these ancient predictions, adding a contemporary dimension to these biblical narratives. Another significant prophecy from Zechariah is found in chapter 12, where Jerusalem is described as becoming impregnable even to the nations that oppose it. The prophecy states, "I will make Jerusalem a cup that will send all the surrounding peoples reeling. Judah will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves." This ancient prophecy portrays Jerusalem as a powerful fortress that stands firm in the face of adversity. The construction of the Third Temple holds monumental importance in Judaism, especially for Orthodox Jews. Although it has not yet been erected, the Third Temple is considered more sacred than the previous temples that were destroyed. For many, particularly the Orthodox Jews, it is not just a structure, but a sacred symbol of holiness and a revered place of worship. Since 1987, a group called the Temple Movement has been actively preparing for the construction of the Third Temple, making gradual progress toward that goal throughout the 21st century. The Temple Movement's efforts are driven by a deep spiritual conviction and a sense of religious obligation. They believe that the reconstruction of the Temple is fundamental to realizing the destiny of the Jewish people as mentioned in the Bible. This group has been preparing meticulously, from organizing demonstrations at the temple site to discovering a special cornerstone for the Third Temple and creating artifacts for its use. Solomon, the leader of the Temple Mount movement, is committed to garnering support in Israel for this historic effort. According to Solomon, the construction of the Third Temple is essential for the transformation of the world. The Sanhedrin, a religious body resurrected by Orthodox Jews, oversees the laws of the temple to ensure that the reconstruction is carried out in accordance with the standards prescribed for Orthodox Jews. The Sanhedrin's role is crucial, as they are responsible for temple affairs, including preparing for temple services and participating in activities such as planting special trees with plants needed for the Third Temple. While many in contemporary Israel and around the world may not be particularly religious, the Orthodox Jews take the issue of the Third Temple extremely seriously. For them, it is a spiritual obligation and an essential part of their faith. They believe that the reconstruction of the temple will play a fundamental role in global progress and spiritual transformation. On behalf of the Sanhedrin, Rabbi Hillel W. emphasizes that the temple served as a link between earth and God, contrary to common beliefs solely associated with animal sacrifices and bloodshed. Many sacrifices actually involved plant products that grew in Israel. The return of Israel to the Promised Land and the construction of the Third Temple align with biblical prophecies from prophets such as Ezekiel and Isaiah, who emphasized God's promise to gather his people. Ezekiel states, "Then the nations will recognize that it is I, the Lord, who sanctify Israel when my sanctuary is among them forever." This suggests that the presence of God's sanctuary among the Jewish people will be clear evidence of Israel's special status. Isaiah echoes this sentiment. "I will say to the north, deliver them, and to the south, do not detain them. Bring my sons from afar, and my daughters from the ends of the earth." This prophecy highlights the gathering of Jewish people from all corners of the world back to their homeland. Although there is a belief that Yeshua serves in the true tabernacle in heaven, the aspiration to build the third temple goes beyond mere construction of a physical structure. It is considered an abode of God's special presence, a symbol of deep holiness, and a sacred place for prayer. A biblical passage commands, "Build me a sanctuary so that I may dwell among them." The prophet Ezekiel witnessed the departure of God's special presence from the old temple, but also prophesied his return and establishment in an eternal new home in Jerusalem. Renowned Jewish thinkers throughout the centuries have emphasized that the construction of the third temple is not limited to recapitulating history. It is an emblem that reaffirms the eternal presence of God with his people. Therefore, erecting the third temple is not just a tribute to the past, but a declaration of the constant divine presence among his people. A recent development that many see as a fulfillment of ancient prophecy is the arrival of red heifers in Israel. These young animals, characterized by their completely red color, have particular significance in Jewish law for purification ceremonies, especially for priests dealing with issues of ritual impurity. According to Jewish law, heifers less than 1 year old must maintain their red hue intact to be used to produce ash, a vital element in purification rituals. After spending a 7-day quarantine period in Israel as required by the Israeli Veterinary Authority, these heifers will be transferred to 2 locations in Israel, one of which will be accessible to the public. They will be cared for until they are 3 years old, at which point they can be sacrificed in accordance with Jewish law to produce the necessary ashes. The Bnei Israel initiative, formed by members of the Jewish and Christian communities, played a fundamental role in bringing these heifers to Israel. Byron Stinson, a Texas rancher and consultant to the organization, was responsible for raising these animals. Their arrival at Ben Gurion Airport was marked by a warm welcome ceremony attended by officials from the Temple Institute and other prominent figures linked to biblical faith. The red heifer carries deep symbolism, as its ashes were historically used to purify the Israelites, as described in Numbers 19. Many see the current appearance of these red heifers as a harbinger of the imminent construction of the third temple and the long-awaited return of the Messiah. The significance of these events is profound. They represent not only the physical return of the Jewish people to their homeland, but also the spiritual fulfillment of prophecies that have been anticipated for millennia. The preparation and planning for the third temple, along with the symbolic arrival of the red heifers, are seen as clear signs of divine intervention and the unfolding of God's promises. For many, these developments are a testament to the enduring power of faith and the realization of ancient prophecies in contemporary times. The dedication and efforts of the Orthodox Jewish community, particularly the Sanhedrin and the Temple movement, underscore the deep spiritual importance of these events and their implications for the future of Israel and the world. In conclusion, the fulfillment of biblical prophecies through the return of the Jewish people to the Promised Land, the agricultural success in Israel, and the preparations for the Third Temple highlight the enduring relevance of these ancient promises. The construction of the Third Temple is not merely a physical endeavor, but a profound spiritual aspiration that signifies the eternal presence of God among His people. The arrival of the red heifers adds a significant layer to this narrative, symbolizing purification and the readiness for a new era in Jewish history. These developments are a powerful reminder of the timeless nature of faith and the unfolding of divine plans in the modern world. This battle is predicted to occur during a time when Israel enjoys security and prosperity, a period many believe is approaching as Israel continues to expand and prosper. According to prophecy, Gog will lead an invasion against Israel with the support of a coalition of allied nations. This attack is expected to take place during a period of tranquility and prosperity for Israel. The coalition led by Gog will include countries such as Russia, Iran, Turkey, and other nations from North Africa and the Middle East. However, they will be defeated by divine intervention in defense of Israel. This upcoming battle will result in a great defeat for Israel's enemies, demonstrating God's supremacy over the nations. This prophecy is widely debated in the context of current events in the Middle East, especially given the growing Russian influence and military activities, as well as Iran and Turkey's roles in the region. Many interpret recent geopolitical developments, such as the Russian military presence in Syria, the partnership between Iran and Turkey, and Iranian support for militant groups such as Hezbollah, as signs that the Battle of Gog and Magog may be approaching. Additionally, the discovery of vast reserves of natural gas in the Mediterranean Sea has increased the strategic importance of the region and intensified rivalries between Israel and its neighbors. In light of these recent events, there is a growing conviction that divine intervention in defense of Israel is imminent. The discovery of vast natural gas reserves in the Mediterranean Sea has further intensified the strategic importance of the region, fueling greater rivalry between Israel and its neighbors. These developments have led many to believe that the Battle of Gog and Magog is approaching, prompting predictions of imminent divine intervention in Israel's defense. Other signs of the end times are also being discussed. In addition to the events mentioned, many consider conflicts and wars, earthquakes, food shortages, epidemics, the spread of the gospel worldwide, and the rise of evil and apostasy as harbingers of the end times. Many believe that such signs are becoming increasingly evident today, suggesting that the return of Christ and the end times are near. However, it is crucial to remember that no one knows the day or hour of these events, and we must be constantly prepared for the coming of Christ by living lives of holiness and righteousness. In summary, many interpret a series of current events as signs of the last days. The return of the Jews to Israel, preparations for rebuilding the Third Temple, the arrival of the red heifers, the prediction of the Battle of Gog and Magog, and other signs are seen as the fulfillment of biblical prophecies about the end times. However, it is crucial to remember that no one knows exactly when these events will occur, and we must always remain prepared for the second coming of Christ by leading lives of holiness and justice. Instead of being dominated by fear or anxiety, it is essential to place our trust in God and remain faithful to His call in all circumstances. The signs of the times echo ancient prophecies and awaken reflections on the future. How you interpret these events is up to you, but it is important to engage thoughtfully with the unfolding narrative. In conclusion, the signs of the times are before us, echoing ancient prophecies and awakening reflections on the future. Your interpretation and engagement with these events are valuable, and we encourage you to share your thoughts and comments. May God bless you strongly today and always.